Thank you for tuning into Top EVT. This is me, Jamie. Welcome to video 24 of our series for successful entrepreneurship. And in this video, we'll be looking at 10 steps to know if your product has a market. If you haven't watched the previous videos, watch those videos first for context and then you can come here. And subscribe to the channel because I will be uploading a new video in this series every day. Now, how do you find out if your product has a market? These are 10 steps that will tell you if your product has a market. It is better to find out if your product has a market before you invest $100,000 into it or try to develop a product and then find out that it doesn't have a market and the product bombs in the market. So it's better to find out if it has a market. How do you evaluate that? First, these are 10 steps. Let's go into the first step. First step is find out how many people need your product. If your product is needed by hundreds and millions of people, then that's a good market to be in. If you have only one or two people, or if you and your friend are creating it and you two are the only people who need it, then that's not a good market. So how many people need the product? Find that out. That is very necessary. So this is a checklist that you have to go through. Next is how much would the people be willing to pay for it. So if it is a small market, you would be wanting it to be at a higher price to be profitable, generally speaking. But how much would the people be willing to pay for it? Find that out, because this is very important in assuming how much profit you will make and to see if you will succeed. If it takes $100 to make a product that people are only going to pay $10 for, that's not going to succeed. So understanding how much people are willing to pay for it is very important. The next thing that you have to understand is how badly do people need it? How much urgent is it for the person to have it? If it is a convenience factor, then that's not a need. It is just a want. So the best example for this is if I can think of it, cancer drugs. If you have meds for cancer, something that can cure cancer today, that is going to be at the highest demand, and that is the people's need will be at the highest for that product. Similarly, if you have the other end of the scale would be something like a singing dishwasher. A singing dishwasher might be good for some people, but it's not a need. You can live without it. So that is something you have to understand. What is the need for the people? How urgent is it for the person to own that product or get that service? The fourth thing that you need to understand is how much do you have to pay to get the word out to your customer. If you have a small market, that is only few people in the market and they are really scattered, so you have to get the word out a lot and that will only attract a few customers, that's not going to be profitable because you'll be spending millions for advertising and there would be no return on it because only few people are coming to buy it. Understand how much would it cost to get those customers, to get the word out to those customers. If it is a really high cost, then that might not be a good market. The next thing that we have to understand is how long is the need for this product. That is it something that you create the product and that is going to stay the same forever and people are going to buy it forever and that need is never going to finish? Or you can just keep on creating that product and people are just going to buy it again and again. Example would be toothpaste and any other normal things. These things you are constantly buying. You are not going to stop using toothpaste tomorrow. You might change your brand, but that is the only thing, that's the only difference. So this is something that you have to understand. Is it a product that has to evolve? Is the market constantly evolving for that product? And if that is true, will your product get outdated in a few years? That is something you need to understand. The next thing you have to understand is, will it be feasible for you to deliver this product? If you have to spend $1,000 or $1,000,000 to create a factory, or to create the product itself, or the cost involved in the product is too much, and the end product is only going to be sold for maybe $10 or $100, that might not be a feasible product. Understand how much will it take to create the product, to market the product, to get the product out. And in this context, in this point we are just looking at how much you will be paying to just create this product. But once you understand how much it is, that will actually help you in taking the decision. Next thing that you have to understand is how much competition is in your market that you are trying to acquire. If your product has a lot of competition, that might not be good. If it is only a few competitors, that's good. And I have actually made a previous video in which I address this point, so you can take a look at that if you haven't already. The next thing that you have to understand is how much time would it take to create your product. If you take a lot of time, like there is a 10-year research to create your product, it might be a need that is really necessary and really important, and so it is good to go there. But if it takes a long time, that means you have to fund that project, that business, for a long time for it to get a return. This is the reason why some of the drugs are really costly, because there will be an R&D cost on it. They might have researched for the past 10 years or 20 years or maybe even 50 years for that product. This is the reason you need to look at how much time will it take for you to change this from an idea to an actual physical product that you can present in the market. If it takes a long time, then that means there is more investment in it. If it takes a short time, that is, you can get it in the market in the next week, that's a very good position to be in. Next thing is, how much would you have to invest for your product to come into reality? This will actually include your factory cost or any of those kind of costs. If you are getting a product, if you are setting up a product that needs a factory and many other things, that all falls into this category. The next thing that you have to see is, can you sell more additional products with your product, or can you sell more of your products additionally? This means that, is it a recurring product, that is something people will buy again and again. So good example would be toothpaste again. It is something people are going to buy again and again and again, and so that is a good market to be in. And once they like your product, they will most probably come to you again. Can you sell additional products along with it? So if it is toothpaste, you can maybe sell dental floss or anything like that along with it. Toothbrushes along with it. All of these things are additional products that you can sell with your primary product itself. That is a good market to be in. These are all the questions that you need to ask yourself before you set out and invest into your product. This is how you evaluate if there is a market for your product or not. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments below. If you have any topic requests, leave them in the comments below as well. Like, share, subscribe. This has been Jamie for Top EVT. I'll see you in the next video.